Pranakasha live stream.
Hey folks, it's Matt at Pranakasha Productions, and today we are talking with Denise Duque, a super well-known to me musician, talented singer and songwriter too, right?
I would say that I could probably do melodies. I'm not really a good lyricist, but I'm very good at composing melodies and, just when I need to have them, like weddings and things like that.
Oh, cool.
Instrumentals off the fly, but yeah, all around. I tried the lyrics thing, and it's just not my gift.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's why there's like teams like Rogers and Hammerstein and whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I need to find my team. Yeah.
You're a librettist.
That's right.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So anyway, me and Denise know each other from quite a while because I play in Trio con Brio. Where'd the Trio con Brio sign go? Hold on.
There it is. Oh, cool.
Okay. And you see it in the intro of the video. Oh, now it's going the other way. Anyways, we won't bother with that. And we've been playing at St. Francis Church for, I believe, I've been playing there for almost 30 years. Mm-hmm. Once a month at the 8 o'clock Mass. And then Denise as the music director there. For how long has it been now for you?
I've celebrated my 7-year anniversary there.
Wow.
In June. Actually, I think it was July, but it's flown by. Yeah, 7 years.
7 years. But just last Sunday, I found out that Denise is in a band. So I'm like, you're in a band? Ooh,
I am.
You should be on my show.
Yeah.
So you're the lead singer in the band, right?
Yes. I'm the only female vocalist. Oftentimes I have a male, counterpart if we're duetting, and there's a male lead. But yeah, I'm the female lead, and oftentimes, I guess it's half and half. We switch off. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's really random. I'm the music director of a church, but you're going to find me in different things in Seattle. But it's so much fun. I love being really busy. Yeah.
Okay, and we're now Facebook friends, so now I get to see your other side.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry in advance if you haven't gone through everything yet.
Oh, I'm completely offended. Oh.
I'm so sorry. Nobody else is on my Facebook.
No, I didn't see anything incriminating. Because I didn't dig that deep either.
You won't need to. I mean, I'm an open book. Yeah.
I post some kind of crazy stuff too.
It's okay. We're musicians and we're living in a crazy world, and we are.
So
I think it's okay to be. I call myself crazy all the time. We're eccentric.
Loco. No, loca, I should say.
Loca.
Eres loca.
Yes.
Yeah. I can't remember if you speak Spanish or not.
I mean, I can speak it and sing in it, but I'm Filipino.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure we already had this discussion.
Maybe.
Of course. Can you speak any Filipino languages?
I do. I speak Tagalog.
Okay.
It's my first language growing up as a kid, but I was born here and I grew up in the States. But
okay.
It was, first language.
And it's similar to Spanish, right? Doesn't it have a lot of Spanish influence?
Yeah. A lot of our language is Spanish. So it's really easy to, learn both of them. So if you know one, it'll be easy to pick up the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. When was the last time you were in the Philippines?
Too long ago. 1990, in the 90s, 95.
Oh,
94. Wow. And we haven't gone back. I'm not really sure why. I think we just were such busy kids. My dream is to bring, my children there. They've not experienced it yet. And it's, yeah, there's a lot going on there right now. So you're going to wait things to die down.
Yeah, watch out for the coconut trees.
Well, we hope to climb them.
Okay.
And the mango trees. And I just remember being there as a kid and not wanting to leave. It's a simple life.
I actually knew a person. Well, I'm an IT guy at King County. One of our customers is Facilities Maintenance Division. Yeah. And for whatever reason, there's a ton of people in that department that are Filipino.
Yeah.
And like this one person, I can't remember who it was that told me about how when he was like 5 years old, his mom died because she was standing under a coconut tree and a coconut fell and hit her on the head.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
And
that's
the
awful.
and the two
Oh,
kids were like, "Well, mom got hit." They thought they were just sitting there not knowing what to do. They didn't know she was dead. They thought she just was asleep. So they finally went and got their uncle or whatever. And
and she was gone.
yeah.
Gosh, she just got hit by a really, I mean, well, it's probably a really long drop.
Well, apparently a lot of people die from coconuts
I
because
think so.
it is like 30 or 40 feet, and it's actually
It's a
pretty
pretty
big
yeah.
thing.
It's a big
Yeah.
drop. It's a big coconut. Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
sad. So yeah, I
Yeah.
won't stand underneath coconut trees.
Yeah, or at least keep an eye on them if you do.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know. But like I said, like we want to be able to pick our own fruit. Just have it's simple out there, which is what I miss. I just remember the mangoes, and we found out that we actually have a mango plantation that we didn't know was in our family's name. I was like, oh my God, we need to
Oh,
go out there and visit it. So, yeah, one day, once COVID and all the politics and stuff is all settled down with their new president, lots of stuff going on.
I think you might have told me about this mango place. Is it like by a river?
Um, I'm not quite sure. It's in a province for sure, so it's going to be around. I mean, there's going to be water around it.
Okay.
But we found out that it was willed to us, so
Oh,
we've not been there. We've not been there, and we have to go out and check it out. I have to go with my dad sometime.
fun.
But it's yeah. There's lots of opportunity, but just if we can make a place there for like a vacation home or something, or we can just profit off the mangoes. Don't know yet. But yeah, it was pretty surprising information. I was like, whoa, that definitely gives us an excuse to go back there.
Well, I'm a bit of a mango snob, of course, because my wife's parents live in Honolulu,
Oh my
and
gosh.
they have this giant mango tree in their backyard.
Yeah.
And we got a freezer full of frozen mangoes from that tree.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
You're set. You can
yeah,
just go back there and ask for mangoes when you run out.
right. So like if we go to the store and there's mangoes, we're like, oh,
Yeah.
these are the same thing
Those
with the
aren't good.
papayas. Of course, the papayas, like I gotta have Hawaiian papayas. I can't have like it from anywhere else because
So
they're
do you
just
spend a
not.
lot of time in Hawaii?
Yeah, we go back there a lot.
Oh,
Uh,
I'm so
in fact,
jealous.
I was actually
Yeah.
born on Maui.
You were. Matt, you
Yeah,
told me this.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think what I told you was the next time I go to Maui, I'm not coming back. 'Cause I just love it there so much. I don't know. The last time we were there, I was literally looking for jobs. But
What part?
Lahaina.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we spent some time there, and most recently my brother got married there,
Okay.
and then let me see, my favorite beach was McKenna.
Oh, McKenna
Yeah.
Beach on Kihei.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got to see, I think I spent
So are you
every
talking about Big Beach or Little Beach?
Little Beach.
Little Beach?
Yeah. There was
That's
this,
the one, Little Beach is the one where there's no bathing suits.
okay, there was nobody on the beach, so I don't know that I've never heard that before, and thankfully I didn't see any of that while we were out there. It was little.
Yeah.
It was McKenna. It's the little
Right.
smaller beach.
It's the one where you have to there's a little like secret pathway to get to it, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's Little Beach. That's the nude beach.
Okay. There's nobody else there, thank God. And we went every night though for like a week.
Oh,
We went
really?
every night to watch the sunset. Yeah. And I saw
Nobody was there?
No.
Okay. Also, I don't know if you know this, but right along that road, Kihei Road, if
Yeah.
you keep going south on it, it'll become like this dirt road. And then if you keep driving and keep driving and keep driving, you'll finally end up in this lava flow. And
Oh, no way.
yeah, and you'll be surrounded by lava rocks everywhere.
So
And it
now-
looks like,
okay.
yeah, I didn't even know about it till last time I was there. And it looks a lot like the Big Island in that spot.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
lava it came down the mountain and went all the way to the water.
Yeah.
So there's all these, frozen lava rocks everywhere.
That would be amazing to see. I think my kids would get a kick out of that. Everyone
Yeah.
what busy trying to do the the road to Hana and
Yeah.
and that Haleakala.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Haleakala.
is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Wait, how to say it again?
Haleakala.
Haleakala.
Mount Haleakala. I know that because the reason why I was on Maui is because my dad was put on a 1-year assignment to be an engineer working on the very first telescope that was put on the top of Mount Haleakala.
No way.
Yeah, back in the 60s.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I had no idea. That's super cool. So you've been up there quite a few times.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you woke up early and you did the trek all the way up and you were there like 3 in the morning.
Yeah. The trick is you can either go up really early in the morning or you can go up in the evening and stay for sunset.
Yeah.
And then go back down.
There's nothing like a sunset. I mean, there's nothing better than a sunset in Maui for me. So I almost missed my flight going home because I had to catch one more. So I came to the airport with my sandals still on, with sand all over my legs and feet. Like we just zipped back over. I was like, no, guys, we can do one more. And just so in love with the place. So, but yeah, it's not going to be for a while, but that's kind of the dream, maybe retirement.
Well, it's really funny because we have a friend whose name is McKenna.
McKenna, okay, yeah.
Because her family, she grew up on Maui, and so she was named after the beach.
And that's a beautiful beach. It's still spelled the same way, not like all the McKennas that we might know, but Makena, just like the beach.
Right. Yep.
That's super cool. That's a great beach. It's so pretty out there.
Yeah. Like my parents lived on Kihei when I was born.
Really?
Yeah. Like my mom said that I still remember my mom goes, "Well, you were conceived at Charlie Young Beach." And I was like, "Oh God, Mom."
Thanks, Mom.
I don't want to really have that in my mind.
TMI, but thank you. It's a special beach. Oh my goodness, yeah. You have great parents.
So anyways, I tell people because I was born in Maui, I tell people I'm a volcano baby.
You're a volcano baby. You're probably okay. If you tell me that, you're the first person who's ever told me that. So that's a cool thing to say.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah. Anyway, so what's the name of your band?
Well, funny thing. So the one that I've been in is called Kapwaband, Kapwa. So Kapwa. And that's just a Tagalog word. Yeah. That's a Tagalog word for, fellow, like my fellow man, fellow, like my
people.
Fellow people. Yeah.
Okay.
Kapwa. Yeah. Kapwaband. And this band, like I said, we kind of do a lot of, we call it cheesy cha-cha. But we've turned, almost anything into a cheesy cha-cha or so just something danceable. So like I said, cheesy cha-cha could be, we did Stevie Wonder.
Cool.
We'll take a jazz song, any jazz song that could be like into a jazz waltz or a jazz cha-cha. We have a lot of really experienced musicians in the band that have gotten their hands on a lot of band experience in different genres. And our pianist, I think he was in the Glenn Miller Orchestra.
Oh, cool.
We have these guys who work in Boeing that have just been in bands like forever.
So in this band, do you just sing or do you also play piano while you sing?
I sing, and I'm glad that I just sing. Sometimes I'll probably pick up a percussion instrument, just to, or a tambourine or something. But I like that I can just focus on one thing. Because I can multitask, but I think it's more fun to just do one or the other. So I'm happy to just sing in the band.
That's so funny because because when we see you at St. Francis, you're almost exclusively playing the piano.
Yeah. It's so different, right? Yeah, it's I like to be able to just focus on playing the piano, working with the cantor or choir when we had choirs. So I'm happy to just be able to sit and do that. Oftentimes I'm without a cantor, and it's probably on a Saturday night where you guys don't, you won't play, but there are some times where I'd have to accompany myself. Somebody calls out sick. So I get to plug in and just, it's easy because I know all the music. I've played since I was 7, and all sacred music is just, I know it like the back of my hand.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I do prefer to do, just the piano or the directing or arranging when
Yeah.
I'm at church. Yeah. Yeah. It's tough to sit and play and sing at the same time.
Right. I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. I've only ever taken voice lessons standing up.
Okay.
Um, and so if I'm sitting down, it's almost a whole different ball game.
Right.
Yeah. So if I have to, I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, in your voice lessons, does your teacher, teach you classical voice, or do they also teach you how to work with the microphone and stuff like that, or?
She's done, she's trained me in classical voice,
Okay.
but then when I'd say, like when I first started singing in the band, I'd tell her, okay, I have this gig coming up. Can we practice on the microphone? And then it'll all be pop music. It'll be, R&B,
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely different from what I would be practicing in voice lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but she's, I think if anybody knows, she's been teaching in the Highline area for a very long time. Her name is Fran Reed.
Okay.
Yeah, she teaches out of SeaTac, and she's classical piano, classical voice. Yeah, but she's great. She's wonderful. She's been
Right. Well, because as you know, singing on a mic is completely different. There's so much you can do.
Yeah.
So much you can do with it, but there's also a bunch of stuff that you can kind of do poorly if you don't know how to sing to a mic.
Yeah, you have to. I was always told that the microphone can be your best friend or your worst enemy.
Worst enemy, yeah.
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 And so to have, to know your microphone, like I have to have, if I go around, I have my own mic.
Okay. Smart.
If I'm plugging in at a wedding, or like I go back to Immaculate sometimes, it's kind of tricky with their systems. I'd prefer to just use my own microphone if I could.
Okay.
And so I'll
Is
bring
it the typical Shure mic, or what is it?
Yeah. It's the Shure, the SM90.
SM57 or whatever it is, or?
No, hold on one second. I have it. 56, 57. Gosh. Anyway, I have it, and it's in a pouch. But yeah, it's no, it's right here. Right here. As you can see, we kind of sing. It's a
right, yeah. That's your standard vocal mic for
I had a gold
live
one.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Back then I bought a gold one, and it was like a $200 microphone.
Really?
To an event. Yeah. I brought it to an event, and then I don't know what happened to it. It disappeared. I lost it, or somebody never gave it back to me when they fixed the sound. I'm sad, so I don't have a gold mic anymore. Yeah.
Have you done any studio recording, studio vocal stuff?
I have. Back when I was 21, so this is a long, long time ago. I was with this record label.
5 years ago.
I wish. Thank you. I was with this local record label that did a lot of big events, for the Filipino community.
Okay.
And they had me record some songs, and they wrote songs for me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was a fun experience. I didn't particularly. You can kind of hear it when somebody doesn't like what they're singing.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't particularly like what I was singing, and so we didn't pursue those songs at all. But I got to record with some other guys. I had to drive up to Everett, so we did some recordings in a studio there. With a band that I was recording and performing with. It was called the California Dreaming. This was back in 2016.
Okay.
With some guys from kind of like the Shoreline area. Oh my gosh. It's a different group of people, and we did a lot of things like, so California Dreaming was one of our songs. I want to say this is all from like the 70s era. So we did a lot of those songs. I did some Motown stuff with them. But we did a recording in a studio, and it was like a really neat experience because we had everybody in a different room. I was in like my own booth, and we were all kind of working together at the same time in different parts of the building. So,
right, yeah, to isolate it.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. I've never been in a studio like that before. So that was really cool. But as far as the finished products of those, like I couldn't even tell you where to find them.
Right.
Yeah. It was fun, but we performed more than we recorded.
Yeah. So when you guys do like cover songs, do you typically do them in the original keys, or do you have to transpose them to fit your range?
I would transpose them.
Okay.
So I would rewrite charts,
Okay.
and make sure that they're suitable for myself. But the band is really good at just plugging in. As long as they have it to read, they're great at listening, sight reading.
Great.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy. When you have experienced musicians, it's so super fun. You can just kind of, it's like a jam session every time.
Cool.
Yeah. But so depending on, I would say I'm an alto.
Okay, I was going to ask you that. That was going to be your next
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, my teacher says I'm a mezzo soprano. She has stretched me in classical music, so
Okay.
a lot of my comfortable notes actually sit in that new area of my mask that I discovered in voice lessons. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But all my life I was just thinking I was an alto, so I'd write all my jazz charts as an alto, in an
Okay.
alto key. Yeah, like F major was my favorite key. I hate it now, but yeah, there's like this. I think it's the A or the B flat that it just doesn't sit well in my voice anymore. Yeah.
Speaking of altos, are you familiar with the band The Eurythmics?
Yeah. Yes, I am. Yeah, it's funny because their music is kind of coming back around with like the teenage. I mean, a lot of that music comes back around on TikTok today. So I hear my kids
Right.
singing all these songs from the '80s. I'm like, how do you know? How do you know Annie Lennox?
Yeah.
But she's got a. I mean, hers is
She's got a really powerful low voice. Yeah.
Yeah. Altos
Have you
are
ever done any of their songs? Your band? Have you guys ever tried any
No.
of those?
You
That'd be
know,
fun.
that would be a fun cover. Sweet Dreams. Sweet Dreams Are Made of This.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that would be-
one of her famous songs.
Yeah. That would be a fun cover to do because it's something everybody knows and it's danceable. So that's what we look for is familiar danceable music.
Right.
Yeah.
There's the other one, the rain. How about the rain's coming?
Yeah, the slower one, right?
Yeah.
And I love that song and I just can't think of the name of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find the title of the song and let you know. I'm just
They-
gonna text you later.
They actually put out a CD much later because they're just a duo. And it was called Peace, Eurythmics Peace, which I bought for some reason. And this is, wow, okay. 20 years ago, because it was like right around the year 2000. But I used to listen to it all the time. And she did one of the songs in there. She goes back at the end of the song and starts singing. It's a song called Just 17, like I'm just 17 again. Or it feels like I'm just 17 again, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then at the end, she starts going into the chorus from, I think it is from Sweet Dreams.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Look
You'd
how-
probably like it.
20 years ago, I feel like that's
Yeah.
kind of when like Cher was making her comeback too. Probably. Yeah. So it's probably around that same time where the Eurythmics made a new album.
Yeah.
I will look that up though.
I'm pretty sure it's
text
called
me
The
the name of that
Eurythmics
album.
Peace. I believe it's Peace.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look that up. But she has, great
Link in
album.
the description.
Are you gonna type that in?
Yeah, I'll put that in there once I find
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
So how many players are actually in the band? So I'm assuming there's guitar, bass, and drums, and you said there was keyboards,
Yes.
and then
We have a lot of percussion. So if you're thinking of like salsa music, if you're thinking
cool.
of, Latin dance, it's a lot of percussion. So we have, let me see, I have 1, 2, because we had a full drum set. We had somebody on the congas, and we had somebody with, I don't know what you call it, but he had the timbales, he had cowbell, he had just everything, a triangle. And this guy is a Latin percussionist that he's been doing it for years here in Seattle. He
Cool.
actually has a restaurant that we would have our rehearsals out of typically, and it's like Lake City or Lake Forest Park. Oh my gosh, what is this place called? But you wouldn't think that there was a band practicing in there, and it's on Sundays. They would close the cafe.
Okay.
There's a stage. There's couches. There's food. There's wine.
oh, cool.
I've got to let you know to come because I'm pretty sure it's not too far from you. But
Yeah, I'll come. Do they have a dance floor?
oh yeah. Like when we practice, whoever's there watching just dances sometimes. It's pretty cool.
Do people salsa dance when you guys play there?
Yeah, there's a lot of salsa, ballroom dancing type of stuff.
Oh, cool.
So it's a lot of fun. But it's, oh my gosh, I can't remember what it's called. It's an old restaurant. I've only been there to rehearse twice.
Okay.
And otherwise we practice at Immaculate Conception. But going forward,
Immaculate Conception. I know that church. We've had this discussion too.
yeah, that was my old parish, and the building next to it is a school. And it has the downstairs level has several rooms, like recreational rooms that you could use for meetings, probably like, I don't know, eating events, receptions, things like that. And the church would use it sometimes too. But downstairs in kind of like the first floor level, there's a big rehearsal space that we would use. So it's pretty, multifunctional building. But we were practicing there for a bit, and then we just started going to this restaurant.
Funny thing. My very first voice lessons, and I think my first piano lessons, were at Immaculate Conception Church.
No way! Your voice lessons?
Mm-hmm. Well, I had a friend who lived there. He lived in the rectory. He was like the organist there. Do you know Bill Clark?
Bill Clark, yeah.
Yeah.
Bill Clark was there because there was a music director. Because I'd been there since I was baptized there, everything. But when I became involved in the music program there, I think he had just left. But I do remember maybe I did see him playing the organ.
Yeah.
And he kind of plays he's really good at the organ.
Mm-hmm.
Piano. And piano.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw him play piano, but I do remember as a kid there was a really good organist upstairs.
Yeah, that was probably him.
Yeah.
So he lived there. So he would tell me all the stories of all the politics going on behind the scenes. And the way he was too, he just constantly, no matter, now he's in his 80s now, and we still go out to lunch.
Yeah.
Once a week. But I mean, he would constantly get in these battles with the priests wherever his job was,
Oh boy.
And every time he got hired for a wedding,
Yeah.
he'd get in this big drama with the whole thing. Like, well, I won't play that piece. Or like if they asked to play pre-recorded music, he would be, well, then I'm not playing.
Oh my goodness. Well, I wonder, did he stay working in Catholic churches after Immaculate, or?
Well, he was able to kind of hop around for a while, but eventually, there's only so many churches in town. So
I know.
Now he's officially retired.
He's set in his ways. I mean, he's been playing since the olden days where we still kind of aren't allowed to play pre-recorded music in church.
Okay.
A lot of people ask for that sometimes, and I actually have to do the same thing and say, no, it's not allowed. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, at least I think it was just he refused to do it. I'm not sure.
Remember, yeah. I do remember some of the choir saying that Bill was really strict.
Yeah, well, it's also, I mean, he would get super upset if people would talk during the prelude. Like, he would just be offended if the people in the church were not sitting there quietly listening to his prelude. Oh
my goodness, what would he do? Like, does he stop if he hears talking and?
Yeah, or he would just, when he was done, he would just sit up there and scowl.
Oh my goodness. Matt,
he's a major character.
I remember now. No, people were telling me these stories.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. But I just remember Bill Clark was strict. I just remember that was a characteristic that they told me.
Yeah.
But I do remember stories like that too. That's so funny. What a small world.
And so also, I don't want to get too far into this, but he would also just get in these huge battles with the priests, right? Yeah. Over what should be played and what shouldn't, and so on.
Yeah.
And so he would tell me all these stories about that too. Now, okay, here's a question. There was this one priest that he just absolutely adored. His name was Father Fulton. Did you ever hear of him?
Not while I was at Immaculate. Was it at Immaculate?
It might have been at what's the other big one in town?
Cathedral?
The one, oh shoot, it's off of 50th.
Oh, is that oh gosh. It's not Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart is on it's in Queen Anne.
No,
are you
it's
talking about kind of the U District?
yeah, it's really close to that fire department it's like on 50th.
Yeah, yeah.
I should know. I played a jillion gigs there. Anyways,
I've been there 2 times, but I thought it's a really, really old church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very old, very tall, peaked roof.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you have to you have to go up this stone staircase that's like out of Game of Thrones or something to get up
Very
into
old church then. Oh my gosh.
to get into like the choir loft.
That's super cool. Yeah.
Oh, shoot, I wish I could remember the name. Anyway, but also Bill he worked at First Presbyterian downtown.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
He was an organist. Basically, he would go wherever he got hired.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No, having a good organist is important. And when I took the job at St. Francis, I didn't know how to play the organ.
Okay.
I messed with the organ at Immaculate like when I was younger, and I tried to figure out how it worked. And I was just like, I need lessons. And so when I went to St. Francis, they agreed to have me take organ lessons from the assistant, not the music director, but he's the assistant organist at the St. James Cathedral.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, super cool guy. His name is Sam Libra, and he just took a job. He's been in Seattle for a while, but he just took a job out in like Kansas.
Okay.
But so I learned what I needed to know to play, church music on the organ, but I couldn't do any of the classical stuff. Like, I just can't believe the footwork that goes into it. Like, I just watched his feet. Like, when he'd be playing his preludes, I saw his feet move more than his hands. Like, what is going on down there? It's so fast, like doing a chromatic scale with his toes. Like,
wow,
it's really impressive. Yeah. So I'm
now,
sure was just talented.
Is he one of these insanely good organists that can like improvise fugues and stuff like that?
I don't know if he improvised them. I'm pretty sure he could if he needed to. He was really good. He actually learned how to play the organ before he played the piano, and he told me that he takes a lot of jabs at pianists because it's just funny to him. Yeah, he's an organist before he could ever be a pianist. Super funny.
Well, it's way different technique.
It is. Yeah. When I had him play piano, it was an adjustment because when we were practicing with the choir, it was kind of an adjustment for him too, to do piano. He could do it, but he would prefer being on the organ. Yeah.
Wow.
Really interesting.
Oh, so how would I get to hear you play organ at St. Francis?
It's been a while because, every time that you guys would come, you would always be downstairs. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not sure why it was like that when I got there. I remember you telling me that the trio would come and play upstairs. Yeah,
we used to play upstairs. We almost never played downstairs.
Yeah.
We were always up in the choir loft.
I don't know when that switched. Was it like that for a while before I got there, or was it, did it happen just when I got there? I
think it was right about that time where it changed. Right around when you showed up is when we switched. Maybe it was because you were used to playing piano, so we just came downstairs.
Maybe that's what it was. Were you guys accompanied by the organ a lot of the time?
Mm-hmm.
You were?
Yep.
Okay.
And it was funny because since it was early in the morning, the organ pitch would change as it started warming up. It would change throughout the service, so we'd have to retune our instruments.
Oh my gosh! So I hope it's more convenient than that we've been downstairs.
And now it's way better.
Good. Yeah.
It's better having us downstairs because then people can see us,
Yeah,
and
we do record now. Yeah. Well, we turned that upstairs. Into like our tech team spot. Like, so you saw, I don't know if you've ever looked up at the loft and saw our setup. It's actually a lot more. Oh gosh, we have you can see the big computer screens.
Oh, cool.
That they work on. And then we have three cameras in the church now.
Okay.
Where we started in the pandemic, we just had the one, and we kind of had to pan everywhere. So we've kind of moved forward into the future. We were kind of forced into it because of the pandemic. Yeah. But we had all these plans already before all of this happened, and we just had to fast forward.
So were you the driving force behind this?
I'm on the tech team.
Okay.
And we, I help put together all the things that go on the live stream, like the text. Um, and then there's another set of folks that will do the camera.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a 2-3 man job
Okay.
while the mass is going, but they only
Wow. Okay.
record one mass a week. But
Okay.
during Christmas time or bigger celebrations, and if you guys are there, then we would record that mass or record your prelude.
Right.
So, and I'll let you know when we do that because I want to be sure that you have a copy of you guys practicing your
Yeah.
prelude music. Yeah.
Who edits it?
No editing. It's a live stream.
That's it. Just straight off the live stream.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. And it's always, I think the one
Even with 3 cameras, how do you switch between the cameras?
there's you just click a button.
Oh, so somebody's up there
Yeah.
real time switching between and then controlling them and all that. And
Yep.
oh, that sounds
Yeah.
fun, actually.
It's pretty neat. And we have such great volunteers in the church that will do that.
Okay.
But it's been it's a fun learning experience. Like I said, we weren't ready for this stuff
Right.
before 2020, and we kind of just like, okay, we got to get our hands on everything, ask for all the help. We've
Right.
had, we've asked lots of people for help, and it's been great. Like the church has been really supportive, and a lot of people who don't feel comfortable going back to church just yet can watch from home still.
Great.
So and it's so yeah, we've been wanting to do this, and we're glad that we can efficiently do it now.
Yeah.
But that choir loft though, like I was saying, I could never stream a mass and then play the organ at the same time. I don't know, the sound and all that. It's just, I mean, everything about that upstairs. I hope I can get a choir back up there. The choir that we did have before. We've lost a couple of members in the pandemic. This is a choir that's been singing for, I want to say 40 years together. And
Wow.
so you can imagine how, how much they're like, okay, this is our time to retire. Especially, in worry of catching COVID. So,
Right.
Everybody's kind of taken a step back and just made sure, we're making sure everybody feels safe in the
Smart.
church. And yeah, even singing solo, making sure that we're far enough away from everybody. These days it's a little more relaxed, I guess. But what it's been like the past 2 years. You guys have showed
Right.
up. Yeah. And we had the colorful dots all around the church to mark. Do you remember that? It looked like
Yeah. The dots.
yeah. So I don't know if we'll ever use that upper loft, not for choir anyway, but hopefully,
Right.
we can find a new, I don't know. I mean, we'll use the organ for sure. I would love to go back up there and play.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, back to your band.
Yeah, I know.
So how?
Yeah.
So you have? I think we decided that you've got guitar, drums, plus a couple of percussion players, and then I'm assuming like the percussionists also sing backup vocals. Is that true?
The bass player sings backup vocals. We have a guitarist who actually plays the sax as well.
Cool.
And he'll sing backup vocals too.
Okay.
Yeah. So, those two guys, and then if I have the male lead with me, he'll probably do some backup as well.
Do you have any trumpets or trombones?
No, and that would be really neat to have. My old band, the California Dreaming, we had a full band. We had all those instruments: trombone, trumpet. We had a couple of trumpets actually, saxophone. So we played big band type of stuff along with, something like Age of Aquarius.
Oh yeah.
We did a really fun
We are the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
Yeah. And then it went
Yeah.
from that stuff to, dancing in the street. Say a little prayer for you.
Yeah.
So that was fun. We had more instruments, big band type of stuff for that. But this band today, Kapwaband, is, just all those, a lot of percussion, one horn, couple guitars, and then sometimes a piano. This last couple of times it's a piano. So
It's funny that your band is named Kapwa because that's so close to the Klingon word kapla.
what does it mean?
And well, the Klingon warriors say that whenever it's kind of like touche,
Kapla.
or no, actually it's the opposite of touche because when you say kapla, it's like
Yeah.
it's like your victory saying. I should actually know what it means. I'm gonna have to go look it up. what it
But you know when
exactly
it's
means,
used.
but it's basically a favorite Klingon expression.
That's so funny. I might have to start using that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at the Renaissance Fair this last weekend after Mass,
Okay.
and everybody there says huzzah. Uh, yeah, and it's like it's everybody played the role, everybody dressed up, but that reminds me of Kapla, or the way it's used. I don't know if it's the same thing, but they say huzzah, huzzah for the tipper, or
Huzzah, huzzah.
Yeah.
Did you dress up?
We just made like flower fairy crowns. It was a fairy theme.
Okay.
So my daughter dressed up as a fairy. We found the elven ears, so we had
Oh, cool.
the ears and then the crown, and that was about it. I think next time we'll know. This is my first Ren Fair, so
Okay.
I think it'll be fun to spend more time getting a costume together, because everybody did a lot of work on theirs. It was pretty cool.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, I know, just going off of tangents here. So sorry.
That's okay. That's what usually I'm the one sending us on tangents. Yeah, the closest I've gotten to a Renaissance fair is my oldest was really into LARPing for a while.
Oh my
So-
gosh, that is
So
a
we would go
huge
around with
battle.
we'd go around and do LARPing battles, with our
so
foam
cool.
swords and stuff.
Yeah,
Some of the people would come in really elaborate costumes and armor and everything.
that is
Yeah.
super cool. Yeah, I've always seen it on TV. And I
Yeah.
think it would be an amazing time to be able to go LARPing. That's so neat. You have to let me know if those things are still happening.
I'm sure they are, but
Yeah.
I know we don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Because then it kind of ended when they went off to college. Because it was at Central
Yeah.
Washington, and
Well,
then
all the way out in Eastern Washington.
yeah,
Yeah, Ellensburg.
Ellensburg. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, super fun. That's a good memory to
yeah,
done. Yeah.
yeah. That's fun stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. I might have to send you a link because I interviewed a guy from the UK who's doing a fantasy indie film right now. Like if you're into sort of medieval stuff like Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If you are, I can send you that link.
Oh my gosh.
And-
If it's not me, it's my husband and his sister, and then probably my daughter. So
Okay.
that would be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he did
appreciated. Yeah.
he did several short films based on like Viking legends that were really cool.
Super cool.
Yeah, and this time he's going beyond Vikings. It's more like actual fantasy stuff. So
We'd
there's
love to see
magic
that. That's
and
super cool.
elves
yeah.
and things like that.
Send me
Yeah.
a link. That would
Yeah.
be cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I'd love to see it.
So your bass player, what kind of bass did they play? Does he play like a stand-up bass or a bass guitar or
He plays a bass guitar.
okay?
Yeah.
Just normal fret. Does it have frets or not?
I have not actually looked. I haven't seen Lloyd's. I've got to ask him.
Yeah.
No.
Might have both actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll ask him. My daughter just started taking electric guitar lessons.
Oh, cool.
And so we're learning a little bit more of the electric guitars, like each time. It's really fun. Guitar is just a great instrument. She
Oh,
would
my
like to pick
guitar's
up a bass
not.
sometime.
Oh, I forgot.
Where's your guitar?
It's supposed to be right there. Okay, hold on. Uno momento. So keep them entertained for 30 seconds.
Oh, sure.
That's supposed to be in my set. I forgot to put it back.
Oh
All right.
my goodness, that's okay. I don't know what to do to entertain people, but you can look at hi everyone. I have a candle collection back there. It's a stupid collection that I keep. I love candles. If that needed an explanation, that's all that really is. I just really love candles. Whoa, that is a beautiful guitar.
Okay, anyway.
Oh my goodness. So you play that too? Wow. Hey, Matt, how many instruments do you play?
Well,
Oh, uh-huh.
violin is my main one, and cello. And I can play guitar, but I'm really not that good at it. Especially now that I never practice it anymore.
It doesn't compare to playing. Not all string instruments are going to be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to think the guitar was easy.
Oh,
Now
okay.
I think guitar is super hard.
Really? Really?
So, yeah, well, I mean, it's easy just to learn basic strumming on guitar and learn some chords and just do that. But if you want to get really good, especially electric guitar is surprisingly hard because it's because everything's so hot. The slightest thing you do makes a giant sound, depending on how cranked up the amp is. But when I started realizing, I used to think that guitar was easy because it has frets. Yeah. Now I think guitar is hard because it has frets.
Well, you know, that's, like I said, my daughter has been, I gave her, I mean, we have an acoustic and an electric that she's been working with. She prefers the electric guitar. I don't know if one is easier than the other, but now she's just so inspired with all this music. Like she just picked up Metallica.
Okay,
you know, and her teacher's like, okay, you want to learn that? Let me show you. You know, so anything, I mean, I'm glad that she's learning the electric guitar. I just think it's such a good instrument. It's so important to a lot of bands too. But she's picking up what she wants to learn, and she'll do what her teacher wants her to learn, but she's very motivated right now, and I'm with her. Yeah. But it is an interesting instrument because the amp does, like her teacher was just saying, hey, this is the type of amp that you need. It needs to have all these dials. Right. Because, you know, it's not just like an acoustic guitar. There's so much more to it. But yeah, I wanted to learn, but I just couldn't do the calluses, you know.
Yeah, that's, I mean, you build them up. It doesn't take that long to build up your calluses. Yeah. But also, I mean, it wasn't too long ago where I even finally made the mental leap to realize that an amp should be treated in the same way as an instrument. You know, I used to just think, well, it's just an amplifier. Who cares, you know? Yeah. But now I finally realized, I mean, this shows how good or bad of an electric guitar player I am. It took me, I finally realized that, every amp has a certain feel to it and can do a certain thing. And now suddenly, like, you got to have your $500 or $2,000 Marshall amp because that's the only way you can get that sound, that real sound. You can't fake it. Yeah. No, you're right. So, but luckily I gave up way before then because I already got enough things going.
I mean, it's a fun hobby. Yeah.
Even so, I own like 6 guitars.
Oh, you got to pick one of those up, Matt.
The only one I actually ever play is that one now. That's my Epiphone hollow body. It's really it's cool because you can also just play it acoustic, or you can at least practice on an acoustic. It's got enough resonance that you can play it without an amp, and it'll make a halfway decent sound. So you can at least practice on it. Well, that's pretty cool. But then you plug it in. You can plug it into amps and do whatever settings. I had one of those Viper amps, you know, that was like $200, but it had like a jillion different settings on it, and it could simulate a bunch of different amps. Yeah. So you could set it to have overdrive and be like a really heavy metal amp. Oh, no way. And but it had a really good setting on it. I'm saying past tense because I sort of permanently loaned it to a friend of mine. But it had a really nice setting for jazz where you could set it to be a bass amp. Oh, no way. But it made a really nice mellow jazzy kind of sound. And then you would set it, the effects would be, what I would do is I would set it on the bass amp setting, and then I would set the effects to a flange. Yeah. And the combination of the flange and the bass amp made a really good jazz sound. That's super cool. Yeah, and what you would do is, if you mixed it just right, you would mix in the sound of the amp with the sound of the actual acoustic guitar. Yeah. Just by moving the mics the way you want and just setting the dials just right. Yeah. And if you balanced it just right, it sounded super good, especially on recordings.
Goodness, it is just
out of a $200 amp.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you would think that you need to spend more money. I was going to say, my other choir at St. Francis, we used to have an ensemble in the 10 a.m. mass, and we would have, we'd have an acoustic guitar, we had the bass player, we had congas, and then everybody else just sang. So we would have a lot of times we had 10 people there on the altar, and the instruments. And I just remember our bass player, he had, our bass player, he had all these cool like pedals that he would use to change the sound. Like, I guess it's hooked to the amp. I didn't know what it was. I was just super impressed.
Yeah.
I was like, that's really cool.
Electric guitar players usually have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fun, he said it's a fun, expensive
Yeah.
hobby to find lots of toys for. But I mean, it's music, you know?
Yeah. See, that still blows my mind. Like, I mean, if I could not, at my level of guitar playing, there was no way I could play on stage with an electric guitar with a jillion pedals down there.
Yeah.
And switch between them constantly during the song and in between songs and just do that whole thing.
Yeah.
There's no way I could do it. I would just completely screw up all over the place.
Another instrument, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like playing the organ.
But like just good guitar players all seem to be able to do that. I don't know how.
I'm sure it's a lot of practice. It's a lot of multitasking. But I mean, musicians can, you know, I think we do so much more multitasking that, you know, people even realize.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you were to be a guitar player with all those pedals, I feel like it's like driving a stick, right? I don't know if you've ever driven a stick shift.
Yeah. I had a 95 Honda Civic.
Oh my God.
For a long time.
That thing.
Yeah. I mean, I had it since it had over 300,000 miles on it before I finally sent it to the great Honda Civic yard in the sky.
Was that before you got your car that you have now?
Yeah. It was the car I had before my Model 3.
That was the car before your Model 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no way. So that Honda's a good car.
Yeah.
It took you 300,000 miles. That's wonderful.
The sunroof leaked. You know,
Oh.
it would literally drip water on you while you're driving in the rain.
You live in Seattle, so I'm sure you're like, oh, it's just a little rain.
Yeah. It had all kinds of rattles and squeaks in it by then.
It was time. It was time to go. But I mean, you know, it had a good life. And you have a great car now.
Oh yeah. Well, it's so funny because here we go. Like I thought I didn't really want to get rid of my Honda. I loved my car. In fact, I had it in a lot of my early Pranakasha production music videos. My Honda's in it.
No way.
Yeah, and it had a license plate on it that said Octava for our Octava Chamber Orchestra.
Yeah.
And I would call it the Octava Mobile.
Oh man.
And I was thinking, you know, when I get this Model 3, I'm going to keep my Honda.
Yeah.
You know, and just keep driving it because I still like it. I'll just drive sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
But then 2 days after I had the Model 3, I was like, this car is so much better than any car I've ever had. Screw that Honda. Just take it away. I never want to see it ever again.
That's so funny. Oh, there goes all the sentiment that came with the old car.
It just completely laid waste to it. So.
I get it. I know that they say a Tesla driver, I mean, once you get one, like you're in love with it, you become a Tesla salesman.
You do.
Almost, right?
You're like the total fanboy.
Yeah. I mean, we would like to get one day too. We're waiting on that Cybertruck.
Oh yeah. Oh, please get a Cybertruck. Then could I get a ride in it?
Yeah, we'll pick you up. Since we don't have to worry about gas anymore.
I tried to convince my wife to get one.
Oh my God.
Because she used to be into trucks actually before she met me, she was really into trucks.
Oh my goodness.
And then she kind of got over it, I guess. But she's like, I would never get that Cybertruck. That thing is so ugly.
I think it's supposed to be like a tank. Like it's built for off-roading. It's it's bulletproof maybe. I don't know, probably not. But
I think it's designed to be bulletproof.
Love it. Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I bet the Pope's going to get one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, the Pope Cybertruck. Oh, that would be so cool.
He needs something bulletproof. So I would say an electric vehicle that's bulletproof. I would say the Cybertruck.
Well, supposedly they're coming out next year.
Oh, next year. No kidding. They've been talking about it for a while. Yeah. 2020.
Yeah. What I heard the biggest holdup is that it's hard. Right now, they just can't get enough batteries. So they're mostly just focusing on making as many Model 3s and as many Model Ys as they can.
Yeah.
And then once they get a bit more of a battery supply, then they'll start the Cybertruck because it's heavier. It takes a lot more batteries.
It does take a lot more battery. Okay.
So.
Yeah. Well, I figure with everything and supply and I mean just everything in the past year.
Yeah.
I think a lot of cars there was a hold up on certain parts. So
yeah,
it's okay. We're patient.
I also think they're trying to be nice to Ford. I think, and let Ford sell some electric versions of the F-150.
That's right.
before the Cybertruck comes in and just takes over the whole market.
I did see the F-150 was electric. Electric, right?
There's
Not
an electric
hybrid.
one. Yeah, there's an electric one now, yeah.
So you don't have
I think
to
it's called the Lightning. F-150 Lightning.
That's insane. It's already out?
Yeah. But they're not able to make that many of them.
Okay.
See, the problem is for the normal car companies, they're totally between a rock and a hard place because they're starting to make electric cars, but they don't make a profit off it. They actually lose money on most of them.
Yeah.
So they have to keep selling. If they want to make money, they have to keep selling the gas-powered cars.
Yeah.
So they're stuck.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they're only going to be able to do that for so long. So.
Right. Pretty soon, nobody's going to want a gas-powered car. And then they're going to be in deep trouble.
Yep. Like, I don't know if you heard those muscle cars, Dodge Challenger and Charger. Yep. So those are the last of the gas-powered muscle cars, and they'll be electric next year.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Well, once everybody discovered that a Tesla can beat, like my Model 3 can pretty much beat any sports car in a drag race.
Really?
Yeah, the thing flies.
You're right. No, It goes from 0 to what? Well, I guess from 0 to 60, how long does it take to get there?
Well, mine isn't even the performance one. Mine's the long range. So I think mine does it in 4 seconds.
Oh my God.
Which is really fast.
That's super fast.
Yeah.
Super fast.
And like you can feel it. You can feel the blood rushing out of your face when you do it.
Okay. That's a lot of speed in like 4,
yeah. And the thing is too, I mean, even when you're not punching it, it has so much torque that you can just go anywhere. Like if you suddenly have to zip into a spot, you can just zoom right there. It responds so fast.
Oh my gosh.
And the thing that thing can accelerate uphill.
Yeah, really well.
Really well. Like I did it on Bainbridge Island. There was a steep hill that I took my friend with, and I'm like, okay, we're going to go uphill. And we accelerated so fast up the hill that you still felt the blood rushing out of your face.
Oh my goodness. How well does it do in the snow?
To tell you the truth, I haven't taken in the snow much because I don't want somebody else to crash into it.
Okay, I was gonna say you can trust your car, but you don't trust others.
Right, but it's 4-wheel drive. It's all-wheel drive, and I've heard that it's really good in the snow. I will say this: I mean, I've had the car for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And not once, not even for 1 iota of a second, have I squealed the tires.
Really?
They just hug the road like it's like there's Velcro on it or something.
Oh my gosh.
Because the tires are really wide.
Car, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, it's up. Sometime I'll give you a ride in it.
You know what? Yes.
It probably never happened because I'm always going to my other gig right after church. But
well, that's true. But you live up north. I was going to tell you, going back to the band. Funny thing happened at my last show on Thursday. I was approached by somebody who actually has this Elvis tribute band.
Oh, cool.
And they needed a female vocalist, and our bass player Lloyd is actually the bass player in that band, and so it kind of just like we knew mutual people, and I was like, okay. And so I have set lists for a September 17 or 19. Anyway, it's Queen Anne days, so we're going to be out there in downtown Queen Anne.
Oh, that's where my mom lives. She lives at Bayview Retirement Home.
Oh yeah. It's a Saturday.
Yeah. And
we're gonna be singing from 5 to 6:30. And it's funny. We're an Elvis tribute band, and this one is called. It's another Filipino ensemble. It's called Graceland Manila.
Cool. Yeah, let me know when it gets closer. I want to go. I could bring Bev too, because her mom is in love with Elvis.
Oh.
Like she watches Elvis movies. She has not DVDs even. It's like VHS tapes.
VHSs, yeah.
She's watched every Elvis movie probably 50 times.
I wonder if you saw the new one. Did you see the new one yet? I haven't seen it yet.
I didn't even know there was a new one. Well, it's not Elvis, right? Elvis. Somebody else.
Tom Hanks is in it. It's a Baz Luhrmann.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the actor is a young actor, and he studied this role of Elvis. Like I think Elvis's wife saw it, and she said, "I lived each of those moments. This movie is so good."
I saw an article about that.
Yeah, so
I think I saw it on Twitter.
Bev's mom might want to see it. It's not Elvis, but it's his story. That's right.
Speaking of Elvis.
Yeah.
I'm also a super big Tom Jones fan.
You are.
I've heard him live 3 times now.
You did.
Yeah.
Where did you see him? Las Vegas?
No, here in Seattle.
He was here?
Yeah,
No kidding.
he came. The last time I heard him sing, he was like 67 years old. Now he's like 80, and he's still singing.
You know,
But he was 67, and he still nailed everything.
he still sounds the same.
It was the same Tom Jones, totally.
Oh my
And the
goodness.
band was super good,
Yeah.
and he was good on stage, and I mean, his singing was great.
That's amazing. Good
Yeah.
for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Well, that's been a while. You said he was 67 when you last saw him.
Yeah,
he's
so that
80
was
now.
maybe,
Yeah.
I guess that would be 13 years ago. Or how old is he now?
I'm not sure, but I would say 80s.
80 something.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
these guys last a while. I mean, if you saw, Tony Bennett was still out there, still singing his stuff. I think I saw something where he was, I mean, I don't know if he has Alzheimer's or dementia,
Huh.
but
Could be.
he sang to his wife on stage, like he just remembered all his words. I think that music sticks with, with somebody even in, the times where they can't remember anything else.
Yeah.
They definitely still remember the music. My
Muscle
grandpa.
memory. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
these guys last a while.
Have you ever sang the green, green grass of home?
No, I've not.
You'd love that. Well, of course, he's talking about his, I think it's his wife or his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So that wouldn't work if you're a female singer.
I mean, you could always change the words if we ever did anything.
Yeah. It's a really sad song because it's talking
Really?
about the green, green grass of home.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the song, you realize that there's this guy that's in prison that's just trying to remember.
Oh, how
know.
sad.
Yeah. I mean, all those old songs are so good.
Yeah.
The lyrics, the stories to them are like so heart-wrenching.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It's nothing like them. Today it's a little bit different. Music is good in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. I have to look that up. I don't know if I'm sure if I heard it, I'd know it.
Okay. Yeah, you probably would.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, here's another one for you. So, when you're singing with your band, how do you remember all the lyrics? Do you like have a lyric sheet, or do you watch your phone or something, or do you just have it all in your brain?
We would have, and I should just memorize them, but it's nice to be able to kind of be on stage with my chart. So say if I'm going to, if I want to improvise a solo, or if somebody's going to improvise a solo, I'm like, okay, take, 16 bars here, go back to measure 90 or something. So we can all kind of look, because the band definitely has their charts in front of them.
Okay.
So kind of just to be sure they're on the same page. But of course, like knowing the song, and I could probably do it without sheet music. But it's there as a, it's like a security blanket. But we typically, we just like to stay on the same page.
And at your typical gig, is the set list all figured out, or can you guys just throw out a song and say, hey, let's do this one?
We've done both. Yeah.
Okay.
So when we rehearse, we'll have a set list to work off of. But then if we feel like we need more music, we'll just pull from our repertoire and say, okay, we're going to do this one tonight too. So it's like we just have to be prepared with more. So more is better.
Okay.
And then other than that, we can make songs a little bit longer by adding, a sax solo, a guitar solo, a piano solo. And people are still dancing, so they don't mind if we repeat it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys always have to rehearse for gigs, or can you just show up and do it?
Well, the last one we definitely didn't have time to rehearse because it was the guy putting it together did not. He thought he told me that the gig was coming up, and he didn't. And I just got on the phone with him the week before, and he said, "So you know that we have these 3 dates coming up, right?" I was like, "No." And so I was like, "Well, okay, what should I prepare?" And he was like, "Well, here are the songs that we've done before, and you can bring a new chart that you'd like if you have a song that you want to do." And so I put together a new chart, and the band, we just took the first 30 minutes of the time after we set up, we just practiced, we just ran stuff, talked things through, and it all just it got glued together just really quickly. So yeah, sometimes we've just had to do we had no preparation this last time, but it was funny. It worked out though. I was like, what, we have a gig, we have 3 of them, like, thanks for telling me. And he's like, I totally thought I told you. So yeah,
Good
that
thing it
happened.
didn't conflict with anything else, like soccer games or whatever.
It didn't. Well, so for the summer, thankfully it was summertime. It's still summertime.
Okay.
My kids aren't so busy. They just have, jujitsu or um, one gig did interfere, or I didn't let it interfere. I'm a big Backstreet Boys fan.
Okay.
Um, and so I didn't let it interfere with the Backstreet Boys concert because I planned that last year.
Okay.
But it was okay. They just had to work with the male vocalist, and it was fine.
Cool.
So we have options.
I'm kind of amazed, like how you can like have a family. Now, you have two kids, right?
I have two kids, yeah.
So you got a family, you got the church job, and all that.
Yeah.
Plus, you're in two bands,
Yeah.
technically,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you got to practice other stuff too, right?
We do. I mean, it's the flexibility that I have with my job at St. Francis.
Okay.
And I also work during the school year. I work at Kennedy High School.
Okay.
I'll be at Seattle Nativity teaching music during the daytime too. So the flexibility of those jobs has been really great for my family because I'm not unavailable to do those things. Somehow it just works out.
Right.
If they have to come with me to band practice, they come with me to band practice. If I
Okay.
have events at Kennedy High School where I need to play for something, they come with me too.
Okay.
And this is the life that I had as a kid too. So my parents were in choir at Immaculate. So if we had choir practice, in
You
the
guys
middle of the
tagged
week,
along.
we were there, we did our homework, or I joined the choir, So yeah, like we just make it work. If I can't bring them to one of their events, thank God for grandma and grandpa. But oftentimes they just end up coming with me to wherever I go. So
Wow.
yeah, they're at church all the time too when I have to play, which is 3 times a week. So
Right. Then
yeah, so
are you on the hook? Like, if there's a funeral or something, are you required to be there?
yeah, yeah.
So that
Funeral.
obviously there's not a lot of lead time or anything like that.
No, I mean, they happen quite often at St. Francis.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so because they're typically scheduled during the daytime, if it's the school day, then it's easy. But
Okay.
yeah, it's the planning for funerals, sometimes I don't hear from the family until 2 days before the funeral.
Right.
One time we actually, some misscheduling happened and we didn't know there's a funeral scheduled. And we were having a staff meeting and suddenly we get a knock on our door saying the funeral home's outside. The church is locked. The family wants to come in. We're like, what's going on? And so thankfully me, Father Dick, and Elizabeth, so Father Dick is our pastor at St. Francis and Elizabeth
Right.
she basically runs everything, right? Thankfully we were all there having a staff meeting. So we just went over next door, got dressed, and I put on, because I was probably in my sweatpants, not dressed for a funeral at all. So I just put on one of the robes they had for the altar servers. So I looked appropriate. But, thankfully I could just pick things that I know would be funeral appropriate. And I just did the music, and it's easy to just do those things on the fly. You just, church hymns are just so, I mean, I've known them forever. So
Right.
stuff like that happens at St. Francis.
Yeah.
We called it a gunshot, or not, sorry, shotgun funeral.
A shotgun funeral. Okay. I haven't
Really
heard that
what it
expression
felt
before.
Shotgun
Wow.
weddings, shotgun funeral, yeah. Interesting thing.
I thought a shotgun wedding was where like the dad had a shotgun that was forcing the guy to marry the girl.
Yeah.
mean-
That's technically what it is, right?
Okay.
Yeah, we just called it a shotgun funeral because it just I don't know, that's what we called it. Because
Okay.
it just kind of just happened. We didn't plan it. It wasn't in our plans. It wasn't in our radar. We
Right.
just called it a shotgun funeral.
Somebody dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because I mean, these days we all do our own thing. Like I've got a day job as a IT guy, but there was a time when Trio con Brio used to do tons of weddings in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we used to play on the street at Pike Place Market and stuff. That was
Yeah.
one of our main ways to get gigs. As we just play on
no
the sidewalk. Yeah, and we'd pass out cards, and that's how we would get our wedding gigs. Yeah.
That's really cool. Oh my
Yeah.
God. How long ago would you say that was?
Wow. That was probably the 90s. So that was a while ago.
People are out there. I wouldn't say I've seen an ensemble out there, but definitely still lots of musicians.
Yeah.
So, but it's such a fun place to hear music. I mean,
It's also a really good way to sell your CDs.
that's right.
Back when people bought CDs, I mean, that's
I know.
passe too now.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
like, I mean, we had our CDs available on our website, and other places, but maybe we'd be lucky if we sold one every once in a while online.
Yeah.
But when we were playing on the street, I mean, we could sell like 5 or 6 of them in 1 hour, easy.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe even
Well,
10.
I mean,
Because
you
people
guys-
are right there.
They're right there. Yeah, they're buying things and they love the
Yeah.
music and and you guys are amazing together. I love how
Yeah.
Trio Con Brio can just show up on a Sunday, just have a book of music handed to each of you, and you guys just sit down and do it.
We can do it. Well, see,
Yeah.
that's why, like, when we used to play weddings, like, we would probably rehearse once a year.
Yeah.
And we
there
would
you
just go to our weddings, and sometimes we would even sight read stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we'd play a piece we'd never seen before.
You guys
Just
are
because, but it was, of course, it was during, like, the reception or something, so there was tons of background noise. And so
was
if we
easy.
screwed up, nobody would
would.
really know anyways.
good. Yeah. No,
But-
you guys are wonderful.
So
You guys
it's
sight read
fun.
every time you're at St. Francis. I mean,
Yeah, but if it's me and Joe, we always pick stuff that we've done a bunch of times.
Yeah.
No, I'm not really sight reading.
I mean,
generally.
the music that I give you, so
Oh yeah, that's true.
yeah, that's all
It's
sight
super
reading.
fun. I really like doing it. Like my
Yeah.
other gig is at Maple Park Church, which is right by my house,
Yeah.
which is the 10:30 service that I play violin in, and
Yeah.
that one's all contemporary Christian stuff and hymns.
Oh,
But it's
okay.
really fun because we usually get a guitar chart and something like that, and so, a lot of times it might have the vocal line written out,
Yeah.
but it's all improv. So
Yeah.
I love doing it because it's really fun to just sort of jam.
It's different.
Um,
Yeah. It's different from reading classical music. That's what
Yeah.
I enjoy about lead sheets too, is you have a little more
Yeah.
freedom.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
And I totally love doing the hymns down at St. Francis and making up jazz cants and stuff. That's
You're
really
very
fun.
good at that. You are very good at that. And sometimes you might not even have the right music in front of you. You just hear it.
Do it by ear, yeah.
Just follow along. So thank you for being
Well,
so
I work at it. I've been trying not to get stuck in a rut. So
Yeah.
what I'm trying to do, since I'm a composer too, when I improvise, I try to bring in my composing techniques.
Yeah.
And like if I'll do a little riff,
Yeah.
then I'll try to create a structure and repeat that riff again elsewhere in the made up desk
Oh,
cant.
well, there you go. Yeah.
And then, or figure out, my brain will start working like that. And what I realize is actually most really good jazz players do
Yeah.
the same thing.
Uh-huh.
Like they'll try to create patterns, and they'll actually try to create kind of a structure that their solo is following rather than just sort of noodling around.
Revising everything.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. And I know, well, with the music that we play at St. Francis, I think the melodies and hopefully the chord changes are a little, easy to follow. They're intuitive or they're predictable.
Right.
Yeah.
Depends.
But
I mean, sometimes we'll do a hymn that's really hard to improvise to.
Yeah.
But most of them, once we go through one verse, I have a pretty good idea of what's going on, and then I can
Yeah.
go off on it. Plus,
Yeah.
since you're playing piano, like if I kind of screw up, I can just sort of fade out,
It's easy to do that. We
and then
cover each
fade
other.
back in again once I figure out what I'm doing.
Hey, I was doing that. Like I was hoping you guys would cover my boo-boos too. So yeah, that's great. That's what's great about being in a band or in a choir. Even you can kind of rely on each other. Or,
Yeah, fade in and out. Yeah, that's so fun.
It is super
Well,
fun.
okay, I really want to hear your band. So, do you guys? I can't remember if you guys have a YouTube channel or anything.
Well, I think we're still putting videos together because we kind
Okay.
of had. I have snippets of things.
Okay.
We had jam sessions last summer. It was just me, the male vocalist, and the pianist, and I think we had the bass player, and we were just in a little bar for
Uh-huh.
4 weeks or 4 weekends in this place in the International District. So we
Okay.
did that last summer, but then this year is kind of when we started ramping back up with more gigs. So
Cool.
if I have to check to see where he's at with compiling videos, but we're still getting it all back together.
Okay.
Nice little pause. Yeah.
Okay, if if you get some videos that you guys put up, like either on YouTube or like Facebook or Instagram or whatever,
Yeah.
send me the links. And what I can do, like even for this, I can, once I publish this video, I can still add stuff. I can edit the description of the video.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So I can add links as we get them and just stick them. So just keep coming back to this video, keep watching this video over and over again and try and go down to those links.
And then they can follow the new YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I do have a couple. I know that the last one that we did was on my YouTube. I'm sorry, not my YouTube, sorry. My Facebook.
Okay.
I had a couple videos that I shared of me and my friend singing on the stage with the band. But yeah, if you look on my Facebook, we were doing a song called Bum Bum, and then I was doing Stand By Me.
Oh,
and,
okay.
The guy that I had with me has been my friend since first grade. He and I,
cool.
We just like going to, I don't know if you've ever been to Rock Box in Capitol Hill, the karaoke bar. So he's my karaoke buddy. But anyway,
nice.
He was filling in for the other male vocalist that couldn't be there that night. So we kind of just met up with charts and we're like, hey, we got to sing this song.
Cool.
But it's on my Facebook. But I'll send you some more things as they get them. Yeah. So we can just keep adding on. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's neat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up. So is there anything else I should put down in the description and stuff like that, or anything you want to promote about yourself, or?
Nothing. Well, not. I don't have anything quite yet other than what we've been talking about. But yeah, I have the two bands, Kapwaband and Graceland Manila.
Graceland Manila, yeah, okay.
Graceland Manila, yeah. It'll be fun. It'll be my first gig, and I think it's September 17. It's a Saturday. So first gig with them, and then I have a show, and I think they're still trying to figure out the date, but it's called the Divas. So two other female vocalists. We have our own respective bands, but we're just going to be up there singing jazz charts.
Cool.
And I think it might be at Seattle University. So so I will keep you posted with dates on that as well. But for sure, the September 17 in Queen Anne.
Nice. And then I forgot to ask, like when you're singing with your bands, do you also dance a little bit on stage?
I do. Yeah.
Do you know how to dance salsa?
I dance enough just so that I don't look stiff on stage, because if you're doing, you have to kind of groove, but it actually helps me to relax. Yeah, it helps me to relax and kind of just let loose if I'm moving. And I used to dance a lot. I learned how to ballroom dance.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I just don't do it on stage, but I just
like
move
tangos and stuff like that?
Yeah. We did the tangos. We did a lot of salsa, bachata.
Did you have a partner?
My cousins and my brother. Okay. So we did it as kids. We did a lot of performances, like local, not talent shows. We did them through Immaculate. We did them through our schools. My brother actually just went on. My older brother, he's a professional dancer right now in LA. So he
neat.
Pursued that. Yeah, he pursued that, and I became, the professional musician, and my little brother's the engineer. Yeah. So it's in our blood. We like to dance. So well, of course,
the band Boston, right?
Yeah. Wait, Boston.
Like Boston, the 80s band, 70s and 80s band called Boston, like What's More Than a Feeling.
Yes.
And all those, they have a bunch of songs. Well, one of the guys, I think the guy who wrote the songs was actually an engineer.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. It's good to have a day job.
Yeah. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But dancing helps to relax, calm the nerves, and you can actually, when you're relaxed on stage and you're singing, the rest of your muscles relax. So to sing effectively, you want to be completely relaxed in your muscles.
Right.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah. So it's fun. I love singing music like that.
Okay. So, and here's another question before we go.
Sure.
What's it like interacting with the crowd? Like, do you like that, or is it? I
do like talking to crowds. I've been in front of crowds forever. So I enjoy, talking to them. I enjoy having them sing. I enjoy telling them to come out and dance. Making jokes, so it's, I'm, you all can see, I'm a chatty person.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy engaging the crowd. Yeah.
And when you're singing, do you ever sing to a certain person in the crowd or anything like that?
If my husband's out there, I'll embarrass him.
You'll sing to your husband, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because he's really shy and he really just tries to hide, and
Ah,
I'll totally point him out. But other than that, if
okay.
not really anybody in particular. If I see
So
my kids,
now, what do you do if like you got guy fans that have a crush on you or something like that? Like, how do you deal with that?
I think it was a bigger thing that I would take notice of when I was like performing as a younger artist, like solo. If I have guy fans or crushes or anything like that now, I wouldn't know.
Really?
Yeah.
So you don't see guys in the audience just kind of going, ah.
I don't notice that anymore because
Okay.
I think it's a thing where like I'm like, why, I think it's kind of obvious that they see my kids on stage sometimes.
Okay.
I think they see I usually have like my wedding and engagement ring on there. It's pretty noticeable.
Okay, so you're like,
Why would you look at me kind of thing, and
yeah.
so I don't notice it anymore because of that. And although when I would perform in the bars, there were some intoxicated people.
Depending on how drunk they got, yeah.
Yeah, that got a little old, and you
As
kinda
the
have
gig, as the night went on, the crowd starts getting a little more.
yes, a little too relaxed. But
You've seen the Blues Brothers, right?
yeah.
I always think of that one scene halfway through the movie where they're at that one bar where they have to be in the cage and they're throwing the beer bottles at the band the whole time.
Oh my gosh, how come I don't remember that?
Maybe you probably just blocked it out because it's probably too horrifying. But
I have to watch that movie again. There's so many movies that I watched back then. I probably haven't seen that movie since the 90s, but I need to
that
go.
movie is so good. I
Yeah.
watched it again recently. I'm like, oh my God, Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi are so good in that movie.
There's some movies that we just have to revisit. And
The dance routines that they come up with and stuff, that it was just so dang good.
I love Dan Aykroyd. He's just very talented. I like seeing
Yeah.
him in different things. Yeah. But I do
John
have to
Belushi is like amazing. Like the dude,
Yeah.
I mean, he's like way overweight, but he did the most amazing things
in the
in
Blues
that
Brothers.
dance
Yes.
routine. Yeah.
Yeah, I will revisit the movie and we'll touch base on that again because it's one of those things where I remember there's so many so many movies from my childhood. Not that I was too young to watch it, but
Right.
so many good ones that I have to understand better now as an
Right. Now as an adult,
Yeah.
you'd get a lot of the jokes and just the whole
Yeah.
vibe that as a kid would have kind of,
It probably went over
Yeah.
my head, but I think I
Yeah.
understand it more now. Yeah.
because Ray Charles was in it. Aretha
Oh my
Franklin
God!
was in it.
Yeah.
Aretha Franklin was in it.
Oh my
They had
goodness,
like
you're
all
right.
these cameos.
Yeah. No, they
Yeah.
had some good people in there.
Yeah.
I studied Ray Charles's his music as a teenager.
Right.
I'm very fascinated with Ray Charles's stuff. And so any opportunity that I can play Ray Charles music, tell me what I say. Hang on.
Well, there's like Georgia.
Sorry, my piano's always on in the background.
That's okay.
Yeah, no. Anytime I have a whole book of Ray
Well,
Charles.
we'd be happy if you'd like to sing a little tune for us, a little ditty.
Oh, I don't know if I'm prepared for that. I'll send you my
Okay.
band links. I'll send you my band links. Yeah. But anyway, I will revisit that movie and we'll talk at church about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we got to wrap it up. So, now you watch Star Trek, right?
I don't watch Star Trek. I've seen Star Trek, but I'm not somebody who watches it. I know, I'm sorry. I'm being offensive
That's
right
okay. No, it's okay. But you know how to do this, right?
now. I do.
Okay, that's all you got to do.
I
You
can
just got to say live long and prosper.
live long and prosper.
So it's been wonderful talking to you, Denise.
Yeah. No, this is a
And I
lot of
totally
fun.
got to hear your band now.
September 17.
Okay.
Yeah, all the hits, all the greatest Elvis hits. Bring your mother-in-law.
Okay. Well, she's in Honolulu, so that might be a little tricky.
Oh, maybe we can live stream some of that.
I could FaceTime her.
You could FaceTime her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
I'll bring my wife.
You guys should come. It's
Yeah.
not far from your home. Yeah. You guys should
Okay.
come. Yeah.
Very good. All right. Till next time. Till next 8 a.m. Mass at St. Francis Church.
Second Sunday of September. See you then.
Right. See you then.
Pranakasha production. Fantastic creations emerging spontaneously. from the space of life.
For the benefit of all beings everywhere.
We gotta